and welcome to Hixxy Studio. In this video I am going to show you how to make this little pastel safari themed card. I'm going to be using this stencil by Sue Wilson from Creative Expressions, this safari landscape, which creates this bit here. And then for the giraffes, I've got this wild frame, from the Amy Design Wild Animals collection, and I just used it to cut the giraffe out from that. The sentiment is Trimcraft Sentiments collection, and then it's white stamping card is what I've used. Now, in order to do this, I have used Creative Expressions Lunar Paste Cosmic Shimmers. So I've got Midnight Ocean and Stellar Lemon, and the green is from mixing the two together. So you just need those two to create this effect. Okay, so we'll start by doing this. So just bear with me while I grab my piece of card to do my stenciling on. Now, one thing I have noticed with these lunar pastes is they are so glittery. There is just like glitter everywhere when you finish. So I'm just going to put that down just to try and save just a little bit of mess. And we'll pull here. Now, obviously there are 4 tiers to this. So here you've got the 2 giraffes, the 2 elephants, and another giraffe. This one is kind of the mirror, the flip of that. And this one you've got the 3 giraffes in the middle and the elephants at the end. And again, this bottom one is the flip of that. So the one I used for this card was this top one, mostly because it's just with it being at the top, it's a lot easier to use. So I'm using my tape. Actually, I'm going to need a bit more than that. To just mask off, because what I don't want is paste all over this card. So you're getting lots of little bits of fluff as well, but the paste is what I'm trying to prevent from a bit. I am going to put a bit of tape here, but I'm also going to get a piece of paper to cover this, so that I don't get too much. In fact, I don't need all of that in that go. Let's put one bit here and one bit here, and then I'm going to grab a piece of copy of paper. I'm going to fold that in half and use that just to cover this, to make sure that I don't get in too much of a mess. So I've got a little pot. I'm not sure what, some sort of food will have come in that, I'm sure. Usually with something my husband has bought, some sort of snacky thing. And you see the beautiful colours of this. And like I said, I've actually mixed them to create the green. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is actually going to take a bit of the yellow out. And it's very thick, this, quite loopy. Yeah. So I'm going to take a bit of the yellow out and put it in here. And just pop that there. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the blue out. And I'm going to put that there. I've done that on the back of the spatula. That would have been easier, like so. There we go. And I'm going to put that there. This is where things start to get messy and I end up with it all over me. So I am now going to just mix these two together to make the green. I'm probably going to want a bit more yellow by the look of that. No, it's not too bad. I could do this on my mat, but as I said, the glitter that this has in it just completely took over my board. So I'm going to start with the green. Got a huge amount, but it will be enough, because all I want to do is to go along the bottom here. A good crease. And I'm not worried about the colours mixing either. So I am literally going along, as you can see, And probably even that small amount that I've made is possibly too much. Okay, so let's move the green to the side, and then we'll get some of the yellow. Okay. And then again, that might be a bit too much. We don't need much at all really for this. And I'm coming just over the top of the green so it starts to mix, making sure we've covered everything. It doesn't matter if we go back over. A little bit in there. Give it a good scrape. Okay, and I'm not going to put that back in there because you can see it's now very green. A different kind of green, but it's still green. And then I'm going to get a little bit of blue. Again, probably too much, but so with this, you see the last colour that goes on really is the colour that you're going to see. So it might be that I covered a little bit of what was already yellow with the blue. Ooh, I might just have got away with that over there. Just making sure. I'm just going to scrape that. I think I missed a bit of the giraffe over here, so I'm just going to grab a bit of the green to go in there. There we go. Okay, right. So I am just going to clean my spatulas and put the lids on the paste before I go on, just purely because otherwise I will end up putting my elbow in it and creating an even bigger mess. And it is a good idea with this kind of paste to clean your spatulas. You can see I've got residues of other things that have now dried so hard there is no hope of ever getting it off. So the green to the side and put our lids back on our two pots here. Okay, so we now need to have a look at what we've done. So I'm going to remove the sides. Now, as I was putting this down, I kind of didn't really say that I always do the top bit first because that will be the last bit to come off, and it provides like a hinge. So if when I take this off, and I can already see I've not gone quite out far enough, so I am going to just grab, and if you can see here, I've not actually filled that in, so I'm just going to grab a little bit of the paste and go over that, trying not to get it anywhere else, which could be tricky, but we'll go with that. I think I've already made a mess of it the other end, but not to worry. So take this bit off. Yeah, I've just gone over a little bit. It's not the end of the world because I'm going to cut it down. That said, you can see where I've made a bit of an error in that I put the tape over the top of the part of the stencil. So I am just going to fill that in again. Doesn't matter that that's green up there. It's not the end of the world. So just be a bit more careful than I was when sticking your tape down, that you're not actually covering the stencil, because you have to go in a bit like me there and have a bit of a replay on it. There we go. And then take this bottom bit off. Yeah. Get rid of that. Make any more mess with it. And then if you've got this bit at the top, you've then got a hinge where you can actually have a look and check before you take it off, but that looks fine. So we're going to just pull that. Okay, and there is our little safari stencil through there. Very pretty. Now that does need a little bit of time to dry. I'm just going to put my stencil to one side. So I have already got one completed, so I'm going to put this one aside to dry for another project. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this frame. This frame is lovely for wildlife cards, and there will be a video showing how I've used this and the stencil in a completely different way. But for now, I'm just going to snip into it, and I can see I need to just clean my dye a little bit. I've got a few little bits of black still in the dye, and although they look like tiny little bits, they can be a bit of a pain and prevent this from cutting properly. So I have this card is it's Foundations card. I think it's Periwinkle, and we're just going to run this through to cut out. I mean, really, all I want is the drop, but you can cut the other animals out as well and keep those for other projects. So might seem a little bit excessive, but you know, it worked for my card, so I was not too worried. I also just realised that what I should have put through with that is the sentiment. So I'm going to grab the sentiment out, and I might just run it through again. Take that out, and I'm just going to push this centre bit out. Okay, because that's the bit where I'm going to cut that one from. We're just going to run that back through very quickly. Woo! Providing that it doesn't slide away. Right, so push this a bit. That's through. I'll grab that in a minute when I need it. So this cuts beautifully and gives you some great embossing. So you can see on the draft all the markings here, and on the elephant with the ear. Now when I was doing this originally, I did cut out both the elephants and the giraffes. So I've got my two giraffes there ready. Wrong way around, but you know what I mean. So you could what I found was I was going to put the giraffes here and the elephants there, but then I found it was too much with the sentiment. So you could put this the other way, put I'll show you in a minute what I mean, rather than just doing it all in abstract and just gibbering on, not making much sense to anybody. So let's grab this. Now I found these, particularly these two animals, really, really easy to cut out from here. So I'm just going to cut this piece off to create the back, and then I literally went straight down here with the foot, and now this back leg kind of disappears in to the frame. So what I did is I just cut this like as a curve, so that it's like looks like it's standing in the grass. So from the corner, I just cut up there. Now this is the tail. So again, it's really easy. They've got that little fluffy bit on the end of the tail. So just cut it there. So you've got like that little bit. I didn't do it so well on the others. And then I just cut just below there to create my giraffe. Okay, so let's move that to the side. So, okay. So what I have then is a they call it a slimline card. It used to be called a DL card. It's basically, if you were to fold an A4 sheet into 3, that's how deep it would be. And so all I did was I scored it, cut off that end bit, and made my little slimline card. So let's start assembling, and I'll show you what I mean by you could put the elephants instead of the giraffes. So let's just start putting it together. And I went with this one because when I first saw all the sort of safari theme things, your immediate thought is sort of sunset colours and blacks and reds and yellows. And that is the other card that I will, the other colour scheme, sorry, that I will be doing. But this just shows that it's a little bit more versatile. You can make it for a child's card. So it doesn't just have to be those sort of, for those sunset, it could be more of a baby or a small child, you know, who's into all his zoo type, or her, sorry, zoo type animals. This paper is just from my stash because it just matched the colours. And again, the little bits of card that I've used to cut the green and the yellow, again, just random bits from my stash. Okay. So this is what I mean. I could put, I'll just use one of them. I could put, like I have here, with my giraffes there. Or I could tilt it that way and put my elephants there. I think I'm going to stick with giraffes, but it's, you know, it would work equally as well. You put the bow on that side with the shall I? Let's go with the elephants. Let's just mix it up a little bit. Let's go with the elephants. I've already got them there. Let's move them to the side. Right. I need my other sentiment, don't I? Woo. My pin is stuck to me. Grab that. And get this out. And push this out. Okay. I have my 3 sentiments, and we're going to go with the 3 elephants. So I'm going to stick those together first rather than trying to do it on the card. So we're going to stick the yellow one on top of the blue. And then the green one on top of the yellow. There's our elephants. And then we've got the sentiments to do the same colour scheme. So we're going to put some blue down here and stick the yellow. You don't have to use all the colours. You could just use one colour. I just like to make things difficult for myself by having to cut lots of bits out. Okay. I like the effect of layering sort of little die cuts and sentiments. So we are going to put a bit of glue gel under here. And just remember to do it the right way around for the elephants. So it's going that way. There. Ooh. And then we'll put our elephants here. So they need some glue gel. Ooh. Let's see if we're looking. Some glue gel. There. Yes. And then okay. Does my bow go that way? Or that way? That way, I think. Put a bit of glue gel for the bow. There. And then I'm not too worried. I kind of over glued it there, but I'm not too worried because I'm going to, this is going over the top and it will hide that. So there we have our two versions of our little pastel safari card. One with the giraffes, one with the elephants. Both of those came from the wild frame, which is by Amy Design from the Wild Animals collection. But the main sort of star of this one is the stencil, which is over here, which I must go and clean in a moment. This safari landscape stencil, which I think is just brilliant. And I've just put a little bit of card there. I just need to flick that off. There we go. There we go. So, yeah, different way of doing a safari type theme with some beautiful pastel colours. Thank you for joining me.